Hello,
Welcome
hello.
back. Hello. Hello, Cloak Oak. Look at this. We're both here. We're having a good time.
We're about to. I was gonna say we're about to witness the start of the season, but I guess the season started earlier today.
The season did
It's the
technically
first
start
match.
earlier today, but you know,
But it's still day one.
it is still day one. It is still day one, and
We're back.
we've got an amazing match for y'all starting up here. It's UTD versus the Waterloo Goose Wranglers. This is a chippy upstart team from the beta champions of Collegiate back in 2022, what seemed like ancient history. Now they're back and ready to go for it. Cloak Oak, do you have any research, anything you want to say about this Waterloo team coming into this?
Yeah, so I'm especially excited to see what a tier is going to be cooking up. I've run into them quite a few times in comp, but also have enjoyed watching them play throughout CCL. And I would not be surprised if the ban from UTD going into this match is on Atir's Juno. That is a nasty, nasty character that they have cooked up. Between that and, of course, just the fact that Streak is a fantastically experienced player, they are going to be putting up one heck of a wall and an offense for UTT to get through. I haven't had the chance to see Lockoff cook yet, so I'm eager to see what they're going to be working with. But it appears that they've been working on the Juliet, just looking at their Corestrike stats.
Absolutely.
So always a solid pick.
Always a solid pick there. This Waterloo Goose Wranglers squad is made up of Lockoff, who played a ton during beta, a beta GOAT, as a lot of folks are saying, as well as Streak, dubbed the Thanos of Omega Strikers in the pre-show earlier today. And then, of course, Ether, the GOAT, assembling the squad together, getting them ready to go for this CCL season. Bro was like messaging me during the registration, was like, I don't know if I can get a full team. And then bro finally got a full team, so good job, Ether. Proud of you. And then, of course, the UTD Comets, they do not need to be introduced. Second place last year and have not rebuilt, but reloaded Texas style, replacing Blue Blazing with Snake. Snake, two-time Omega Strikers champion in the Pro League and Dubu Cup, both in summer and winter, respectively. And you've also got Amarats, your solid goalie there, and Windowed, your midfielder. Cloak Oak, you're on Meteorites. You're around these guys all the time. What insight do you have for the Comets?
Yeah, I mean, Amarats, if you look at their core strike, it looks like Amarats is just a diamond goalie, pretty standard Atlas player. But after having the chance to play with him in Grands last semester, that is a far undersell of this player. Amarats is a fantastic goalie. Just able to dig some crap out of the goal box that I think that High Chally and Omega goalies would struggle to do. Windows, I've had him as my midfielder now, and he's an incredible player. Just knows how to get you the core. And when you can get the core to someone like Snake, you're in a dang good position to score some goals and win some matches. So I honestly am just excited to see the clash of the Titans here. I mean, these are two heavy-hitting teams that we're about to see go head-to-head. And I guess it'll be a test of who's going to come out on top in this early season match.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the map picks and bans here. And it's looking pretty fun here. You had a bunch of bans and picks going up here, and we're seeing Tycho for the first time so far, I believe, in this season. UTD got the first pick as being the higher seed, got to ban Otten City. Waterloo banned Imes. UTD picked Clarion, so we're going to be going to the test chamber here for the first map. We're going to see Oni Village as our second map, picked by the Goose Wranglers. Demon Dice and Atlas Lab were both banned by Waterloo and UTD respectively, and we're going to be deciding it all on Tycho Temple. Bit of a different picks and bans process from typical Cause Court events here. What are your thoughts on that, Cloak?
What the difference between how we did map bans here and
Yes.
how they normally run on Cause
Yes.
Court? Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it's rare that we get to see the best of 3 format used in such prevalence, right? I think that it's a really, really helpful thing in terms of deciding, or really demonstrating, which team truly won the match, right? Because you get a variety of map settings and awakening placements, and these teams also get potentially 3 games across which to learn one another's strategies and be able to counter strategize against the others. And so even just the fact that this is, best of 3, which is the lesser used map pick ban format, I think is already exciting for this match, because we get to see these teams really work around one another over the course of these matches.
Absolutely. I mean, you're spitting, Cloak. You're spitting. I mean, I'm just excited to be back. I'm just excited to be back here. We saw Texas Tech earlier. I got my Texas Tech debut shirt on because, I mean, as much as UCLA beat down on them, the team looks great. So watch out for Texas Tech this year. We're gonna be coming for that either 4-4 or 5-3 spot in the rankings here. And as we load in this game here, getting all ready with that, any words of wisdom you wanted to bestow about UTD meteorites this year, Cloak?
UTD meteorites, yeah, we were going to have blue blazing on the UTD meteorites, and sadly, due to some unforeseen circumstances, blue will not be able to join us this season. So we are currently scrambling to find a permanent forward player or midfielder, but I'm very excited. We got a new recruit this semester, Heck You.
Yes, Heck You.
Fantastic goalie. And I've been enjoying playing with him thus far. So at the very least, I'm excited to develop some synergy with him, and I think that between the two of us, we've got a good foundation to build off of. And of course, we're looking to get some coaching from Windows and Snake over the course of this semester. But enough about my team.
Enough yapping, right? That's totally fine. We've got Reverberation and Monumentalist starting out here as our starting awakenings. And what picks would happen here, Cloak? What do you think UTD or Waterloo is going to decide?
Well, I'm seeing Windows hover the era, which I think it's highly unlikely that we'll see the era get banned for Windows there. So I bet we're going to see some Monu era, which could be potentially very disastrous. Actually, now bans coming out for both sides. Nobody wants to deal with that character.
Nobody wants to deal with the Doritos.
And it looks like Windows is actually going to be opting for Aimee instead, which is exciting. I've actually never seen Windows' Aimee, but I know that he tends to cook on pretty much everything.
Okay, maybe the Juno pick is coming out here. We already have a Juno pick on the other side. And the Estelle. The Estelle or the Juno, they're trying to figure out which one to pick. I know I was talking with Blue Blazing. He said that Estelle was sort of their signature champion last year, so maybe they're bringing that energy into this season as well.
It's grabbed the Kazan from the side of Waterloo there, though.
I think we'll find out here. I know Snake is playing Brawler, which is a bit off role for him.
Yeah, he does opt for more core control oriented things, but I mean, he's no stranger to getting KOs.
Absolutely.
It looks like it's Streak on the Kazan. That is going to be a deadly force to contend with.
Streak on the Kazan. It's going to be insane here. The old beta champions versus the new Kings of Texas. Let's see who's going to take it all here. We already got one goal barrier down at the moment for UTD, but look at Ether. Ether is coming back, but Streak accidentally throws this one back. Snake doing some slicing and dicing on this court. Sneaks right past Lockoff. 1-0, the comments.
Yeah, that was some fantastic efficiency right there from Snake and Windows. Just not giving up any of that offensive pressure. Really easy for them to play in lane on that map arrangement of clearing.
Absolutely. As things are going crazy right now, the Juno down, gone. See you later, Ether. And we've got another goal opening here for UTD. Snake is already showing off that he means business. He means business right now. And you need to take it out on this Waterloo team. Slicing and dicing happening, confusing Lockoff on the Kai, and we're up 2-0.
Yeah, that's a beautiful combo play there from Windows and Snake. Slip behind the enemy lines. And we've got the signature Comets emote drop from Windows right there. Usually they do those in sync. We'll see if they get it together before the end of the match.
Yes, we'll see if they can get that together. We're on the Era version of the map here. And Snake with a 1-2 into those two barriers. Amarats has this core flip hanging in the back on the Atlas. Streak, though, on the Brawler gets one, potentially trying to get two, but that shield does nothing. The Juno is gone now. Ether struggling here, and the core flip pass to Snake. Set number one goes to the UTD Comets.
Yeah, I mean, we saw immediately when Snake grabbed that Era orb there in the middle, the tempo just immediately swung in the favor of UTD, right? Especially on Zentaro. I've actually been noticing this more and more, that especially Zentaro ult appears to be incredibly overpowered off of that center orb, because your ult covers like almost an entire half of the map and deals, you know, an incredible amount of damage. So it just decimated everything that they had going on. Interesting about this draft, though, is Streak and Snake both ending up with their BIS here, in terms of damage and mobility for Kazan and Zentaro. So it'll be interesting to see which one of them manages to take more advantage of those awakenings as we move into set 2.
Looks like that Snake is already taking advantage of these awakenings as well, slicing and dicing through one goal barrier. We're on the Atlas portion of the map here. One goal barrier going down. Make that two for the Geese Wranglers. The Goose Wranglers squawking into this next set. Looking real good, but UTD responds. Both goals are now open. Can Streak work some magic, or will Snake keep on cooking? The core goes down to Snake. More slicing and dicing. Backpedals, though. Window just there with the midfielder pickup. Bullets are flying on both sides. Amarats with a good block. Ether, though, and Streak closing in on the Comets' backfield here. Amarats has the core flip. Lockoff almost gets caught lacking, and finally saves his core. We'll probably have to use this core flip at any point now.
Oh, there we go. Oh, wonderful hook from Streak to put the goal right in.
Look at that.
Beautiful timing.
Also, I'd like to apologize to stream. I did accidentally have UT Dallas's win record as 1-0. Don't worry, there's no script leaking. I'm just still working out this producer thing. Don't worry about it. Snake is not having to work through the Zentaro play, however. What a good core flip from Lockoff, but it just doesn't matter. Snake back passes it 1-1. Just as Waterloo got their first goal going, UTD is just back on the gas pedal.
Yeah, certainly. In terms of win conditions here, we're already seeing you know, a bit of a dichotomy form between these two teams, because that team player pickup from Lockoff kind of puts UTD on a bit of a timer. They don't seem to be having any trouble meeting it right there as they grab a double barrier and just will not stop this offense. But, I mean, that team player pickup, it's already a benefit even before overtime hits. But if Waterloo can be able to make it last to overtime, Lockoff is going to be able to provide some serious long-range support to their forwards, which is going to make a huge difference. And already we're seeing Streak make his way back up the field, trying to hopefully grab some goal barriers in return. Oh, but Snake won't quit with these Zentaro abilities.
I mean, Streak
Up in Lockoff's face.
Yes, Streak is already doing decently well on this brawler off roll here. Still needs to, you know, work out some kinks, of course, but I mean, if you compare Streak and Snake, it's just day and night. Look at how Snake is just slicing and dicing it up on this Zentaro here. Streak here has the core flip, will use it, but Snake is right there to backpedal. Another goal barrier going down. Streak trying to make something work here, trying to make a bit of a mountain out of a molehill, but it just cannot work with this UTD defense as well. Snake has the core flip already here. Will be going invisible through these patches on the core floor here, and it's a full team goal. Set 2 going to UTD.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking cut and dry right now, but with this Kazan guy, I mean, anything could happen here. There are 2 size awakenings on the board. In fact, this is basically a Kazan draft right here. Who am I kidding? We've got everything and anything that Streak could possibly want. And he could take this kit in whichever direction that he wants to. Also some good pickups here potentially for Ether on the Juno. but 1-2 punch gets denied by Amarats at the last second. Instead, Ether will opt to continue sparking, which they started last draft.
We'll see.
Yeah,
A whole buffet, though. Moving into set 3 here, a whole buffet open for Streak, as you mentioned, for Snake, sorry, as you mentioned, that Zentaro sure is eating, loading up his plate, and already getting 1 goal barrier down. Another attempt from Windowge, but Snake is there to counter that defense. Ether is doing a good job on this Juno, keeping it nice and breezy, but, you know, I mean, Snake is just all up in Lockoff's face. You can't really do a whole lot when you have a Zentaro charging at you at 1,000,000 miles per hour.
Oh, that was an unfortunate secondary angle from Streak, passing it straight to Snake's Zentaro. And but I'm a little bit sad that we haven't gotten to see more of Streak cooking in the goal box. I know that we were poor control Kazan. Oh wow, that was another nasty double barrier right there. They cannot seem to catch a break here.
Cannot indeed. Almost get a goal post here from Snake. The core flip does come out. Windows tries to connect, misses it a tad. That's okay though. The goal is still open, and in Snake we trust. I mean, it's a whole don't tread on me flag right here with Snake in this front line. Windows has the flip, will use it, and there goes Lockoff.
Fantastic.
Match point for the Comets.
Lockoff standing just a little too far back in the goal box right there, and Windows with the fancy angle will tap it in. I know that that Waterloo has got 1 point here to try to pull it back, and what needs to happen here is Streak needs to get a KO. At this point,
yes.
the brawling is really the only thing. Getting a power play initiated is the only thing that I could see that would shift this in the favor of Waterloo. But it's just not going to happen. Snake and Windows, the offense is just too powerful. Already they have developed some really fantastic synergy, pushing up together, and Windows is just fantastic at getting the core up to Snake. And there just wasn't really anything that Waterloo could do there. But I'm sure that they're already in the locker room right now. Waterloo is hopefully brainstorming right now over what they can do to stop this absolute monster of an offense that we just saw UTD put up.
Very true. I can probably see a Zentaro ban coming out as well, alongside a Now ban on the next map for UTD. That was their map pick, so it makes sense why they won that one. Looking at the stats here, Snake, 3 KOs, 6 goals, 2 assists, 15k damage, more than anybody else on this field. And a bit of a trial by fire for Lockoff, only 35 saves and 2.4k damage there. And it's just got to be rough if you're a Waterloo fan in chat. By the way, thank you Wiggly Wobbly for the raid. That's a massive dub right there. Let's head back to cams real quick. Boom. And yeah, I think what is going to need to happen here is that Waterloo Goose Wranglers, they are a very strong team on paper. They are super strong. They've got a lot going here. But Lockoff is playing goalie. Streak is playing off-roll on Brawler instead of goalie. And then Ether is playing midfield, where I'm pretty sure he's the most comfortable. So you just need to find that mesh. And it might not happen tonight, but I know it will happen later on down the road. And we hope it happens tonight. I want to see a game 3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, we are about to move into Waterloo's map pick here. Theoretically, this is where we get to see their game shine, right? We're moving to, was it
Oni Village?
Tycho that was doing, this is Oni, and
Yes.
Tycho's game 3.
Tycho will be the decider. We are on Ohio servers because Waterloo said, we're not playing on Dallas. So Snake was like, well, I've got 60 ping to Virginia, and I've got green bars on Ohio, so like, let's go Ohio. So we're playing in Cincinnati or Cleveland or Columbus or whatever, wherever the servers are there. But I mean, again, it's a Canadian team versus a Texas team. Pretty large geographical difference. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some ping issues are arising right now from both teams. But you know, I have no idea. I mean, no complaints so far from either of the teams.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if on Oni Village, the potential Zentaro ban onto Snake will spell a bit of difficulty.
Yes.
For UTD, because I mean, as much as Windows is going to get the core to Snake, we saw Snake do a lot of moving around that match. Zentaro is a very high mobility character, and he was able to dash back and forth as soon as he got Super Surge. Not having access to those kinds of high mobility characters, I think that's more or less the only one in Snake's striker roster. Is it could be rough for them. That being said, maybe Waterloo will opt to ban Windows as Estelle, just knowing how absolutely powerful and overwhelming Estelle can be on Oni Village. So I'll be interested to see which direction they take this. But certainly, I could see where playing the stall game for Aether's Juno and potentially giving Lockoff a bit more of a chance to keep those barriers up with the Oni, with the ease of keeping up Oni Village barriers. Yes. I think that those things could potentially swing the match in a different direction from what we just saw. And that's what I'm hoping for. I want to see these teams adapt to one another. I want to see them have to really duke it out in that game 3. And we'll see if Waterloo's able to make it happen right here.
I've got to agree here, Cloak Oak. I do want to see a game 3, and I think the Zentaro pick might be a good one. If you were watching the Surplus Texas Invitational 2 weeks ago, you were seeing a lot of Snake playing that Zentaro, slicing and dicing up front. And if you see a lot of Snake playing in NASL Pro League Dubu Cup, pick that Zentaro a lot, but I think he still has some things in the back pocket, some brawlers in the back pocket to utilize here. So as we get into this game, we're going to see which ones they ban here. We're getting into Oni Village Game 2, Waterloo's pick. Hopefully the Goose Wranglers can wrangle in a dub in this matchup. Our awakenings are here, Cast to Last and Egoist. Let's see what strikers will be picked in accordance with these opening awakenings.
I mean, Egoist is just a fantastic thing for anyone to see on Oni Village. That is the cream of the crop right now in the meta. Getting that extra speed boost on top of Core Flip, which is already one of the highest pressure abilities that you can get access to. That's a huge advantage right there. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Egoist across the board from these forwards. But our goalie friends may opt instead for the Cast to Last. It looks like it's going to be a Dubu mirror on the goalies. Cast to Last, a fantastic pickup on Dubu. That being said, Egoist Dubu.
Egoist Dubu.
The return of Ice Skates Dubu.
Dubu is back. Show me them paws in the chat. We got Dubu goalies. Actually, sorry, it was a Dubu over here. Amarat's decided, nah, I'm going to go on the Atlas. We're going to stick there. But we're getting into this next game. Let's see if Waterloo can come back and force a game 3. Oh, wrong transition. That's okay. Whatever. It's fine. Egoist being picked by Streak and Ether. Lockoff going for the Cast to Last. Everybody on UTD going for that Egoist pick. We already see one goal barrier down here. Make that 2 from Snake. Back on this Zentaro. And we're going to see if... Look at that. Streak's already acclimating to the forward role here as well with these 2 dueling Kais. We're going to see if they can get this second goal barrier, maybe get a goal going here. I believe they only had 1 goal all last match, Cloak.
Yeah, no, they did get the 1. They were able to apply all the necessary pressure. But I mean, here I don't expect to see Snake getting as many KOs. It looks like Streak is getting a lot more core control here, which is, an interesting dynamic. But just as I say that, Windows sets up a fantastic ricochet for Snake to send it into that bottom corner. The barriers are still going down for Waterloo right now.
Yes. I know that Ether picking this era is in my opinion, a great pick. You're already seeing Snake just turn itty bitty, tiny guy. Every single time this shrink ray is being focused on Snake to try to maybe slow him down, keep him from doing too much. You're already seeing it work right here. Waterloo getting 1 goal barrier down at the moment. Windoge and Amarats doing some passing plays here. The Shrink Ray comes on to the Kai. Snake has this core flip. Let's see if they can convert any of these. So does Windoge. 1 goal barrier going down. Windoge bringing it back up to Snake. Look at this. 5 players in the same spot. Goal barrier, sorry, not the goal barrier. The goal barrier stays up with that core flip being thrown out. Snake still has this core flip though, like a shark in the water. Goal barrier stays alive, not for long though. Lockoff doing a great job of defense, but you can't stop Snake being in your face like that.
We're seeing Egoist come online here for Streak though. That is a big deal, but sadly loses a couple strike wars to Amarats and Windoge. And now the Egoist speed is in its less stellar state. And Snake finds the bottom corner again. Who's gonna stop this guy? Someone stop him.
He is slithering through the weeds in the desert of Texas. And I mean, Lockoff had a great log. I need to appreciate that right now as a Dubu main. That would make me scream. That was a great log. It's just unfortunate that Snake was right there to just justify it. And we're seeing already with this 2-0 score, Snake grabs 1, core flip comes up, grabs 2, will sacrifice one of his own to come right back to Streak. Streak has the core flip, gonna try and keep this around Ether to try and get another goal barrier. Core flip comes out, but the core flip is met from Amarats. Snake is gone, dead, reduced to ashes. Snake has the venomous bite. The Dubu wall comes out though, a big soup shop set up here, but it goes right through the soup! And it's a 3-0-1 set for the Comets.
Oh, classic Dubu soup. You hate to see it. We always hope that the Dubu soup lies where we want it to, but Snake spotted the hole. He slithered on through it.
Yep.
He slithered on through it. We are seeing Fight or Flight being picked up here by Windoge. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh. Instead of mobility, Streak opts for size, hoping to maybe get an advantage on some of those strike wars he was struggling with that set. And Twin Drive falls all the way back to Amarat's Atlas. That is an additional wall that Waterloo will have to get through. But we do see Team Player going to the side of Waterloo again. That's a big force on a map like Oni Village, where oftentimes these points are going to be going into overtime, and we'll see that awakening really fully come online. I'll be eager to see if it happens in set 2 here.
I really have to agree with you here, Cloak. I mean, that team player alongside Streak's size difference is going to help a ton for the midfield forward interaction here for Waterloo. 2 goal barriers down, 1 apiece on each side. Ether just needs to pass it up to Streak, and Streak needs to get around Amarats, who is holding it down with this wall. And again, 2 walls, as you mentioned before. It's going to be so hard for Waterloo to wrangle in a goal here, especially with that stellar defense, but they make it work. Ether has a shot. Streak going to pass it down, get a little bit more energy up in the veins here. Windoge doing the exact same. Waterloo's trying to keep this core on the left side of your screen. Good. Giga Blast comes out here. Core flip out from Amarats. Cannot use it. Cannot hold on to it any longer. Snake, though, has this core flip as well, but gets battered by the maelstrom of Ether. Windoge bringing it around. Snake has this core flip. Could use this at any moment here. You're already seeing the positioning right next to Lockoff, and you could see a core flip battle here. Core flip comes out after this. The goal barrier goes down, but it gets passed up. Windoge has a goal barrier as well, but Amarats is not there. Streak! Ether gets their goal.
Fantastic play by Waterloo at that point. I do want to call out, I just noticed what I believe UTD is attempting to do here. I believe that their strategy here is to simply send the core away from Streak every time he gets a hold of it. You're seeing every single time Streak gets the core, Windoge goes up, contests him, sends it to the opposite side of the map. And I mean, their hope here is that they're eliminating the lesser of 2 evils. But Ether has proved to be a surprisingly durable midfielder down there, keeping the core up as well. Snake will send it right through the Dubu log right there, but Streak will pivot back to hopefully swing this point back in favor of Waterloo right here.
The soup comes out, but it's fought through. The core flip comes out, and what a great thread of the needle there from Lockoff. Spectacular Dubu work from this young goalie, the Beta legend. Streak going back to Ether. Ether and Streak are trying to get this goal barrier down, but Amaret's, again, has those 2 walls. It's going to be really hard for them to contest this. Snake gets itty-bitty-fied, but has the core flip at his disposal. We're going to see here if Windoge could try to maybe core flip it to Streak, but Snake bites again!
All 4 goals. Just Snake tapping it into the bottom corner. When will they learn? When will they learn? We should just get all 3 Waterloo players piled into the bottom corner. UTD will never score.
But the only thing that would happen, though, here, Cloak, is that Snake will just go up top corner. That's just what's going to happen. That's what happens when you're going up against a Snake. He's going to slither around, fit through all the obstacles, get through, you know?
You never know until you try. We haven't seen for anything but the bottom corner yet, but the fantastic Arenado sends Amarats off the side. We now have a power play opportunity here for Waterloo.
Windoge
coming online for Streak.
Egoist is coming online here for Streak. Core flip comes out. Amarats comes back just in time. You're seeing Windoge playing some impromptu goalie here, and the defense was amazing. The core flip comes out, but it's just a little too early for those goal gates to open. Streak, though, and Ether trying to get this last goal barrier down to make the set a lot more competitive. Streak keeping it up here, going back down to Ether, but Snake intercepts. The Dubu wall comes out. The soup kitchen is open for business, and so is the log. Look at this, UTD, all 3 down here, but Streak clears it beautifully. This core is just sliding back into UTD territory. Almost gets that goal barrier, but it doesn't work out. Walk off with the log. Trying to keep this core on the left side of the screen, but watch out. Here come the Comets. They're coming up right here. Amarats and Snake keeping it real. And Windoge could get a first goal here, but what a save by Lockoff.
I am seeing some fantastic strike wars come out here for Waterloo. I mean, they have won almost every single strike war that UTD has thrown their way when they've come downfield. We're about to see a few more opportunities right here for them to demonstrate their prowess. We are now in overtime, so Ether's team player here is hopefully about to start to make a real difference. They don't even need it, though.
Goalie goal from across the ice. Sound the horn.
Love to see a Dubu winning.
We love to see a Dubu King winning, and look at this, Waterloo up to set point here. Might make this a lot more interesting. Streak has this core flip. Ether gets the pass there and gets the goal barrier. Ether, though, back to small size, needs to keep it real. Snake gets the core flip, but already you had that preliminary expanse from Amarats on the Atlas here to keep this core away. Ether brewing up a maelstrom. Amarats will successfully dodge. Snake bringing it back down, and Streak, look at Streak's positioning, always getting back up to that angle where the core is not and finding it. What a good play from Streak, and everyone who's confused about Streak not playing goalie, this is what you're witnessing. Streak is adapting on the fly. The Thanos of Omega Strikers is getting the Infinity Gems.
He is collecting all of the rolls one by one. Well, I honestly think that he's playing a bit of a double midfielder here. He's been going back a lot more than Ether. Ether's been playing a little bit more offensively, getting up in Amarats' face. It's an interesting approach from this team, but it allows their most powerful player to play in his comfort zone a little more, which I think is a good strategic choice. It seems to be working out well for them here as they continue to hold on this barrier, even against the offensive pressure of Snake and Windoge.
Ether has been on stagger forever. This entire time, and Amarats is gone! Streak gets the goal barrier here! Waterloo, this is your chance! Attack! The core flip comes out! Snake, though, responds to the goal barrier of his own! And Amarats is back! Snake, walk off! Gets the save! What a save there, but he goes right back to the lower pocket! Tie it up 2-2!
So close by Waterloo there. That was some fantastic team play from all 3 of them that point. Really shows you why we said at the start this team looks good on paper, and now we're starting to see it on the field. I really do think that these 2 teams are starting to show why we said that they were evenly matched at the start of this. We're starting to see some real competition between the 2 of them. as Streak goes for a core flip right there, stopped by Amaratz's Atlas Expanse.
Amaratz.
Back to Snake.
Ooh!
Ooh! Beautiful kill by Snake, but the core flip.
Core flip is gone here. I mean, Streak is doing great cooking on this forward roll here, and getting him out is a big godsend for UTD. They didn't take advantage of that, though. Amaratz posted up midfield, gets the core flip, gets the goal barrier, and Windows knocks it in. A dicey set for the Comets, but they still prevail 3-2.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing that reflected in the XP here as well. The Comets are an entire level above the whole team of Waterloo, just showing how, even though Waterloo put up an incredibly good fight that set, UTD they're still the ones that are in control of the field for the most part. We are, however, seeing Rapid Fire fall to Ether's Era, who has been, just like you mentioned earlier, those shrinking rays have really been making it very difficult for Snake and Windows to put up the kind of offensive pressure that they need to. And Rapid Fire being one of Era's best awakenings and just enabling that to happen more often could be a real tempo swing here in the favor of Waterloo.
Absolutely. Pun intended, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Both goal barriers are down. Snake cooking up some energy, but that soup stops it. Look at Waterloo, though. Back in business. If they could get this core away from Snake, away from Windows, get it into that goal, they're cooking with gas. Maybe even, frozen gases coming off the tail of a comet like Ether does right there as the Geese come up 1-0 in the third penultimate set.
Yeah, there's really any way that this match could go. I have no input as to who's going to come out on the top of this set or even this game. We've seen both teams put up quite an incredible fight so far, and I don't think there's anything more that I can say, but let's enjoy the rest of this game.
Let's enjoy indeed here, Cloak Oak. Both goals are open. Windows given the rallying cry from his former teammate Blue Blazing here. Windows almost has the energy. It rolls right in. And Waterloo fans, you gotta be honking in chat. I want to hear your honks for the Geese, for the Goose Wranglers. They need to fight as hard as possible to get off this reverse sweep and stay alive in this series.
I mean, surely they're not the ones that are honking, right? It's the Geese that they're wrangling that are
yes,
honking?
Yes, the Geese that they're wrangling. Of course.
The Geese of the UTD Comets?
Yes, the Comet Geese that they are wrangling. Of course, but I mean, if you were a Waterloo fan, you'd be a Goose fan, right? Maybe.
Yeah, you'd probably be a fan of the Geese that they're wrangling, I would say.
I would say so. And but Waterloo is not a fan of both their goal gates being open here. Snake and Windows, look at that core flip, but oh my goodness, the Dubu wall comes in just in time. Windows just stuck for a little bit next to Lockoff there, getting a little chill out session. Amaratz, though, responds with a core flip. Snake slicing and dicing, trying to get Ether out of the way. Core flip comes up from Lockoff, but Lockoff dies. Snake tries to bring it up. Snake, double KO! The Comets have it! Match point here!
There we got to see a prime example of what I like to call the size debuff. We're having a bigger strike box on somebody like Dubu and Streak, since he's picked up 2 size awakenings. It just makes it that easier for a character like Zicaro to completely ruin your life in the goal box and on the barriers, as we saw right there. Snake just completely decimates both barriers. Going in for the
my gosh!
For the final point.
UTD begins their revenge tour. They got second last year, and they are taking no survivors. The Comets are up 1-0 in a dominant 2-0 victory, but GG's to Waterloo. They're going to be a scary team to face off against this year.
Certainly. Yeah, that was a real pleasure to watch both of those teams cook. Let's take a look at this stats page for a minute. I'm surprised that Ether only ended up with 98 redirects, because it seems like they had a really big influence on that map, or on that match. I think it's because a lot of their focus was towards hopefully trying to debuff Snake and Windows, rather than going for direct core control. And I'm also surprised. It looks like they did get 3 goals this game. It felt like a lot more than that. Am I wrong in saying that?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong in saying that.
And I think it's because they were getting barriers down. They were putting up a lot of pressure. Just maybe getting those barriers down didn't get converted into goals as much. But I mean, UTD. I'm a little biased, obviously.
I think we both are, to be fair. Both of us were real Texans. Maybe a tad, maybe a little bit.
maybe a little bit. Some of that Texas solidarity. Yeehaw, brethren.
Yeehaw, indeed. Oh, not this song. There we go.
I mean, they demonstrated why, even with, what is theoretically a lower tier roster last semester, they grabbed 2nd place. Mm-hmm. And now we're coming back and seeing Snake at the front lines. And with the rest of the Comets behind him, I don't think that there is much of a ceiling in sight for this team. And I'm just excited to see where they take it the rest of this season. What do you think?
I can only agree with you, but I do want to turn some attention to this Waterloo squad here, though. I know that Lockoff hasn't played since beta. I know that Streak is playing off-roll, and I know that Ether is doing their best to keep this team consistent and going, but if they just keep working, they're going to be so scary to face off against. You were seeing them scale in that second set, in that second game there. They were getting goal barriers. I mean, anybody looks at the score and they're like, oh, it was a blowout. It was not. It definitely was not. You were seeing flashes of brilliance from each of these players on Waterloo. I think the geese will be wrangled come April when the playoffs happen here. But GG's to UTD. Again, a superstar squad on paper here. Windoj and Amarats cooking up from where they left off from last season. Snake joining along for the ride. I don't think, if you're a Comets fan, I don't think you're going to be worried a whole lot for this upcoming season.
Certainly not.
Certainly not. Well, that'll do it for us here. Week 1 of matches for CCL. There's going to be a few more matches happening tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Those will be streamed on players' accounts. So follow us on Twitter at CCL_OS. We're going to try to keep up everything going on in the world of Collegiate Corestrike. Join the Discord. Follow us on TikTok. Shout out to Syntix, by the way. Bro's been editing so much for us, and he's an actual godsend for me this season because I'm kind of running all of the stuff. But I mean, man, what a season start it was. We saw UCLA, another championship hopeful today, knock off my team, Texas Tech. But everybody who played today seemed like that they just wanted it more, right? There's no team that I don't think there's any teams that are just doormat this season. I think everybody wants it that much more.
Certainly. Yeah, everybody is gunning for those top spots this semester. And I think that with the kinds of players that we've got here and the amount of time that they've had to develop synergies with one another across all of these teams, I think we're looking at a much more exciting and close competition for the championship title than ever before.
Absolutely. Well, Cloco, thank you again for casting with me today. I'm probably going to be casting every so often because I'm mainly going to be focused on prod. We'll see you back here pretty soon. Do you want to plug anything? Plug anything you want.
I don't have anything to plug other than see you in the queues.
See you in the queues. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen you grind. We've been seeing you grind for a minute, so we're excited to see how UTD Meteors do as well here. But that will do it here for us from the CCL and Striker Central. I've been your caster surplus for Cloak Oak. Have a great night. Go to class, study hard, and keep on striking. Adios, everybody.